Hi, I'm Mr. Krieger. Welcome to my special report on the September 13th, 2025 SAT. Welcome to the No BS Zone. I'll answer major questions about the test. There will be no equivocations and no bland generalizations, just the facts. The September 13th, 2025 SAT is now history. The thousands of Reddit posts enable me to reconstruct and evaluate the test. This video will focus on providing straightforward answers to frequently asked questions. Well, let's begin with the math modules. Was the September math difficult? Many students did feel that the math modules were relatively easy. In fact, one confident student described the math questions as, quote, sunshine and lollipops, close quote. Everyone agreed that the Desmos calculator could quickly and efficiently solve at least half of the math questions. Well, now let's turn to the vocabulary for a different story. Was the September SAT vocabulary difficult? Yes, it was. The poster who described the math questions as sunshine and lollipops described the vocabulary as, quote, brutal, close quote. Another Reddit poster wrote that the seemingly endless sequence of difficult vocabulary in context questions and critical reading passages, quote, took away my will to live. Okay, what were some of the most difficult vocabulary words? Based upon student reports, the most difficult vocabulary words included untenable, quintessential, extemporaneous, proxy, copious, and ubiquitous. Well, were there any repeat questions from previous tests? Yes, there were. Believe it or not, at least 9. You heard correctly. At least 9 of the vocabulary in context questions and answers appeared on recent tests. For example, the quintessential, copious, ubiquitous, proxy, and synthesis questions were all tested in August. In addition, substantiate and subdued appeared in June, enumerate appeared in March, and extemporaneous appeared on one of the spring school days tests. This is truly amazing. I will point out later, it's very, very important. Well, did the September SAT have any disputed questions? Yes, it did. The presence of disputed questions is a key indicator that a reading and writing module will be difficult. A disputed question is one in which two seemingly plausible answers leave students puzzled and confused. Let's take a close look at 3 disputed questions that appeared on the September SAT. The September SAT included a disputed question about the evolutionary relationship between long-extinct dinosaurs and modern birds. Reddit posters were evenly divided between those who chose harbingers and those who picked proxies. So, what is the correct answer? Okay, here's my take. According to the passage, air sacs found in extinct dinosaurs are also found in modern birds. Although harbinger is a tempting choice, it is important to remember that a harbinger is a forerunner that must precede something. In contrast, a proxy is a substitute. The key to answering this question is to realize that paleontologists now use the respiratory system of modern birds as proxies for studying the respiratory systems of extinct dinosaurs. The passage thus supports proxies as the most logical and precise answer. The September SAT also included a disputed question about how in the age before tape recorders, musical stenographers developed a system to instantly record musical performances. Reddit posters were evenly divided between those who chose meticulous and those who selected extemporaneous to describe the attempt to preserve live musical performances. Here's my take. Meticulous means showing careful attention to details. Many students argued that the musical stenographers undoubtedly made every effort to be precise and thus meticulous. I'm sure they did. But the passage does not directly support meticulous. A careful reading reveals that musical stenographers attempted to capture, quote, the impromptu deviations of performers, close quote. Now, impromptu means unrehearsed and is a synonym of extemporaneous. Extemporaneous is thus the most logical and precise answer. One more. The September SAT included a disputed question about leaf vein architecture. Leaf vein architecture is important. It plays a crucial role in how leaves transport water and nutrients. Reddit posters were evenly divided between those who chose entanglement and those who selected multifariousness to describe leaf vein architecture. So here's my take. Entanglement is tempting. Entanglement means being twisted together. Many students assumed that the different leaves discussed in the passage must have complex or entangled systems of veins. But what about multifariousness? The prefix multi, meaning many, offers an important clue. Multifariousness means having or demonstrating a great variety of forms. A careful reading of the passage reveals the phrase, quote, range of adaptation, close quote. The word range provides a logical and precise link to multifariousness as the correct and best answer. All right, I'm sure you're wondering, how did my book, Winning Words, perform on the September 2025 SAT? I'm very proud to report that the 200 featured words in the third edition of Winning Words produced 13 direct vocabulary hits or answers. That's awesome. No wonder my students feel confident they will have high reading and writing scores. But that's not all. The third edition of Winning Words also included definitions and examples of 14 indirect hits. An indirect hit is a wrong answer. For example, knowing the meaning of words like harbinger and meticulous is a big plus. It can enable you to use process of elimination to reach the correct answer. Okay, why is Winning Words so successful? It's not luck. It's important to stress that College Board test writers actually draw upon a relatively small set of correct vocabulary words. Winning Words defines and illustrates these words. As we have seen, the College Board frequently repeats questions, thus making it possible for Winning Words to have a significant number of vocabulary hits. Thank you for watching this video. For more information about the SAT and AP U.S. History exams, please check out my website at www.insidertestpreparations.com. Thank you again.